On this date, 19th of May 2023, Reverend Dr. Timothy Keller died. His life was a testament to the goodness of God, the beauty of the gospel, and the impact that a humble, godly character can have, even in the midst of a global spotlight. Yet on the same day, 3 years earlier, 19th of May 2020, another significant Christian leader died. His life and death are now marred by the shocking revelations of the double life that he was leading, and his legacy is in tatters. I'm talking about Ravi Zacharias. During their life, Tim Keller and Ravi Zacharias were probably amongst the most significant, important Christian leaders of our generation. You really didn't have to look far to find their teachings on the internet, to see their books in various shops. They were just pumping out so much teaching, so much apologetics, and they were really, really good. Both of them passionately taught the Bible, both defended it against critics and engaged with objections to the faith really well. Both had an interest in apologetics with Ravi Zacharias International Ministries, which was an apologetics thing. You've got the Tim Keller Center for Cultural Apologetics, which is about engaging the culture. But now the two could not be remembered any more differently. Tim Keller's life is a blessing to look back on, and Ravi's is tragically a cautionary tale, a warning to all of us. So I want to have a look at a little proverb here that I think speaks to this. This is going to be quite a devotional video. Normally I try and do a little bit of a blend of teaching and devotion, but this is a devotional video. Let me know if you like it. Let me know in the comments or something. I'm always trying to work out what you guys want to see, because one of the many reasons I make these videos is to bless you guys. That's probably one of the most important reasons. I want to bless you. So if this is the sort of video that you're yeah, I want to see more of that, then let me know. I'm happy to make some more. We're going to look at a proverb here. It's Proverbs chapter 10. There are two verses I want to show you, but we'll especially focus on verse 9. Proverbs 10:7 is the first one. It says, "The memory of the righteous is a blessing, but the name of the wicked will rot." I think in Keller and Ravi, and those two come to mind as contrasting examples, because they died on the same exact date, 19th of May, which I think is really freaky. The memory of the righteous is a blessing. Whenever we look back at Tim Keller's life, whenever we continue to read his books and listen to his sermons, it is such a blessing to. It sort of hits different now that he has passed and gone to be with the Lord. You listen to him talk about life, you listen to him talk about death, his hope in the gospel, and you're flip, man, you really lived that, the whole way. You persevered to the end, and now you're with him. A lot of people have been really blessed by Tim Keller and will continue to be, because gospel in life, the ministry thing, the podcast and the resources that are I think they're headed up by Kathy Keller, his wife. They are continuing to publish his sermons, because there are 1 million of them. They're possibly going to be turning sermons into new books, because that's sort of what Keller did. So I've a lot of his books, and they, whenever you listen to the sermon series and then you read the book, you're oh, that's you'd done a lot of the work for the books already, which is why you could just pump them out. Whenever we look back on his life and his legacy and continue to enjoy it, the memory of the righteous is a blessing. We continue to be blessed by it even after he's passed. But the name of the wicked will rot. Even the name Ravi Zacharias now, you can't say it without sort of shuddering and thinking, oh my goodness, what happened was awful. I don't want to get into the details, and I don't say this from a place of being oh, Lord, thank you that I'm not like Ravi. That story Jesus tells of the priest and a tax collector, or just a sinner. The priest is oh God, thank you that I'm not like him, and the sinner, the tax collector, is Lord, have mercy on me, a sinner. And I don't want to be doing this from a place of sucks to be Ravi, we're way better than him, but as a sort of a reminder that ooh, he was very far down a particular path, but it's a path that we could all walk down, and so we gotta continue to love and fear God and resist the temptations, the small temptations that he gave into, which led to bigger ones and bigger ones. Anyway, the name of the wicked will rot. Nobody's watching Ravi Zacharias teaching anymore. Unfortunately, it was good, but it's marred. It's rotten. This is the verse I want to spend a little bit more time on. Chapter 10, verse 9, whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his ways crooked will be found out. Got my little Proverbs notebook here. Proverbs is really good for like going through and take a little verse and just like sort of think about it and reflect on it and meditate on it. Turn it over in your head. Whenever it says whoever walks in integrity walks securely, God shows no favoritism. In Christianity, there's no class of people who it's like, okay, you have this much access to God, but these other people, no, you can't. It says whoever walks in integrity walks securely. So this is sort of open to everybody. I think, what does it mean to walk in integrity? Well, to walk in something isn't like, it's not like a one-time thing that it's like, oh, if you sin once, you're not walking in integrity. To walk is to choose a particular path and continue down that path, to be sort of set in it. You're putting one foot in front of the other. You're taking step after step along a certain path. The Bible has a lot to say about like walking in the way of sinners. Psalm 1, it's like, blessed is the one who doesn't walk in the way of sinners, or stand in the company of the wicked, or sit in the seat of scoffers. You're not walking with and journeying in sin. So to walk in something is to journey in it. So then to walk in integrity is to walk securely. And integrity does not mean sinlessness. This does not say whoever walks in perfection walks securely. It says whoever walks in integrity. So you're like, okay, well, what does it mean to walk in, to be in a path of, and to choose the way of life that is a way of integrity? I guess it is living not fragmented, that you are who you say you are who you present yourself to be to other people. So for example, Tim Keller sinned. I'm sure he would have been very happy to admit that he was a sinner. He wasn't going to confess all of his sin to every person ever. That wouldn't really be appropriate. But I'm sure there were people in his life who he could go to and be like, look, I've been feeling really prideful lately. I need to repent of that. I need to talk to you about that. Can you pray for me for that? Being a person of integrity is being on the same on the inside as you present yourself on the outside. Ravi Zacharias, unfortunately, was not a person of integrity. He presented himself as a man of God, but was living this secret double life. And so to have a sort of split mind where you want to follow God in some ways, and sometimes you're happy to follow him, but in other ways you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my own thing here. That's not integrity. Think of Daniel. It says that he, whenever in chapter 6, whenever the satraps and prefects or whoever it was want to have him thrown into the den of lions, they're threatened by him. They say, they do a little bit of digging on trying to find some dirt on him, and they're like, we're not going to find any charge against him unless it's relating to his God. That's what it means to walk in integrity. That there are no skeletons in the closet. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his way crooked, or the one who makes their way crooked, will be found out. The crooked way versus straight way, that's a common thing in the Bible. I guess especially now that we live in the 21st century, people don't get away with things the same way that they used to. All of these old, like, historic cases of people doing awful things, they tend to come out now, and of people who are currently doing awful things, it tends to come out because everybody's got a smartphone. Social media is a thing. All it takes is one person to post something online, and then it gets picked up and it gains a bit of momentum, and suddenly there's an inquiry into the life of this person, and it all gets exposed. And honestly, like, the list of Christian leaders in the past 5 years who have been exposed for making their ways crooked, not walking in integrity, is terrifying. Like, it's scary, but they have made their way crooked. They've chosen to not walk in integrity, and they've been found out. This echoes, I think, Numbers 32:23 or 23:32. Can't remember which way around it is, but it says, like, Moses says to the people, be sure of this, your sin will find you out. And time again, like, you can't hide sin. You certainly can't hide it from God, but so often people try and hide it from other people, and it comes out. And a thing that I think is good about our culture, even just like not necessarily in a Christian sense, but just culture generally, is the culture really hates frauds. Perhaps because we've grown up on the internet, and like, well, I've grown up with the internet, or grown up where the internet has been in a time where the internet has become a significant thing, and you see all these people like living a particular way and doing a particular thing on social media, online, and then it turns out that it was a big fraud, and people get really mad at that. Our culture hates frauds, and you see this with like, think of like a few of the big name celebrities who have been cancelled, and I'm not gonna name drop them, but popular singers or popular TV show hosts, people whose whole thing has been like, oh yeah, be kind or love yourself or accept people, and then it turns out that they're really awful people. Our culture hates that, and then those people, they get found out and their career just takes a nosedive. If you make your way wicked, if you make your way crooked, then, as verse 7 says, your name will rot. Like, people will not remember you kindly or fondly. If you walk in integrity, you walk securely, free from accusation. Like, people can't say anything to you and expose you if you've already shared things with people, and if you aren't hiding this awful stuff, if you don't have skeletons in the closet, no one can expose them. That is how you live a life like Tim Keller, I guess, where even after you're gone, the very name of you, whenever people think of you, they'll think of your faith or your courage or your perseverance, think of whatever it is, and your very name will be a blessing. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. It's something slightly different from what I normally do, but I'm curious to hear whether you enjoyed this or not. Thanks for being here though, and I will see you soon, maybe in one of these videos. God bless.